Welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Lori Patterson, and joining me today is Derek Schmidt. You may know him. He is the Kansas Attorney General and has quite a history. He's from Independence, Kansas. Went to Georgetown Law School, interned for Senator Nancy Kassebaum, and a whole other list before he came back to Kansas and then ran for Attorney General. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Talk a little bit about your first impressions of your new job, Derek.
Well, it's been terrific. I'm so grateful for the chance to be able to serve this way. I came from the legislative side of the House, and now over in the executive branch in a constitutional office. We've just been trying to keep our heads down and do our jobs day in and day out, and provide good professional legal service for the state. We've got a great team of people. Our recruiting season's been good. We brought some good talent into the Attorney General's office, and I think from consumer protection to Medicaid fraud to criminal work to victim services, we're just got a good solid team on the field.
Now, for people out there listening who might be interested in the healthcare lawsuit, can you talk a little bit about that? Kansas is one of the 26 states that is pursuing this. Tell us where we're at in the process, Derek.
You bet. That was an area that's fairly new for Kansas. We joined in as one of the plaintiff states after I took office in January. There are now 26 states, including Kansas, together in Florida, challenging the constitutionality of what many of us view as a federal power grab in the new healthcare law, particularly the individual mandate provision, where Congress has claimed power never before claimed in the history of the Republic to pass a law ordering citizens to go out and buy a product and then regulate their behavior because they bought a product and engaged in commerce. So there are a total of 28 states challenging. 26 of us together in Florida, and Oklahoma and Virginia have their own lawsuits. Missouri's just joined in support of our effort, though not formally one of the parties. And, we think we have a good shot. We won the first round in the district court. Judge threw the statute out, declared it unconstitutional. That order is on appeal. As you might imagine, the federal government questions it, and we're going to be in front of the appellate court in June making our case there. Okay,
let's talk a little bit about consumer protection. You are the chief protector of Kansans here. What are the scams that you've heard about during your time in office, and what would you like to warn people about?
Sadly, consumer protection is a growth industry. We have a very large number of complaints every year in our office, and we work consumer scams in every corner of the state of Kansas whenever we can. We work with our local prosecutor partners. Sometimes we have to do it all on our own, depending on the part of the state. Right now, we're seeing a lot in terms of door-to-door sales. Particularly, we always see in the spring and going into early summer these crews, often from out of state, that come in and they have a little bit of asphalt left from another job, or maybe just a little bit of lumber left, and they'll make you a great deal on it. And almost inevitably, the deal's not nearly as good as it sounds. We're seeing a lot of that around the state. We're seeing a lot of telemarketing fraud, as we always do. People frustrated by just plain old scam calls coming from who knows where, asking for money or whatever. Seen a lot of impersonation telemarketing fraud this year, folks pretending to be state inspectors or state agents and asking for money or payment when in fact that's just completely bogus. And we're of course always seeing a lot of identity theft. It's also a growth area, sadly, and one that we hope to focus on during our service in office.
Now, can people actually call the office and get help?
Absolutely. We have a consumer protection division within the Office of the Attorney General. Anybody in Kansas can call and seek assistance. The toll-free number is 1-800-432-2310, or you can check us out online at ksag.org, kansasag.org. And we've got a terrific staff there whose job it is to protect consumers' rights.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Derek Schmidt. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on.
Really appreciate it. And that's all the time that we have for this edition of Newsmakers. I'm Lori Patterson at the World War I Museum.